We are also part of this struggle with the Polytechnic students on the sole reason that the students themselves have remained at home for over 9 months now. And this is as a result of the federal government's refusal to begin the implementation of the agreements that they reached with the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnic since last year. And that itself has caused students themselves to stay at home. And it is on that basis that students themselves feel that today is a day that we have to come out en masse to raise that singular point that the government themselves have to come down to implement the agreements that they reached with the striking workers. And we believe that if these agreements are genuinely met, truly, as students, we are going to begin to enjoy some little advance in the education sectors. And if this demand is not being met, that is why we students ourselves come on this protest today to start an activities to condemn the federal government's inaugurations of the confab today, which in no way is not going to impact positively on the base of the Nigerian students. Basically, we have students who are not student representatives, who call themselves NANS. They never believe in the agreement that now ASU reached. So as students and as education rights campaign, from the beginning, we have been supporting the demands of the striking workers, not only in the polytechnic sectors, but in the university sectors, that the demands of ASUP or COASU are genuine. And if genuinely and democratically met, it's going to start advancement in the education sectors. And that's why we support the Polytechnic strike too, that government should immediately meet with the demands of ASU and begin to implement these demands so that students themselves can come back on campus.
The government said they have met some of the agreements and asked the lecturers to go back to school and that subsequently they will meet the rest. What is your position on that?
What was the agreement? What are the demands? One, we talk about the discrimination between the HND and the BSc. The government themselves have not responded on that basis. So if that is even the sole reasons why we are on strike, it is correct. Secondly too, is the better funding of the education sectors. The government themselves have not genuinely come out to say they want to fund education, not until the academic workers have to confront them, nail on to that. You must improve on the funding of education. These are the demands of the academic workers. And if these demands are not met, I will have said it, that not until these demands are met, because if these demands are not met, it means that we are going to continue to have these spontaneous or incessant strike actions. We encourage governments to kickstart or improve on the implementations and also increase the funding of the education. So 26% budgetary allocation as recommended by UNESCO. And that is the major demands of the workers. And if it shows that the government themselves are not ready to implement these demands. And that is why for over 8 months or 9 months, workers are already...
You just condemned the national conference. Are you aware that the national body of Nigerian students is also part of this conference?
Well, that is why I said to you earlier on, even while the academic staff union universities were on strike, they never take side. They never supported the strike. They have already been on the side of the government. So
are you saying NANS is compromised?
Well, who are NANS? Who are the same NANS that we're talking about? These are people who are being organized by the same government. You observe what happens during the ASU strike. There are people who are being called by government to see how they could organize press conference to discredit the strike of ASU. I doubt if any student is aware of what they want to table down at the conference. Nobody is aware. We only heard that NANS were invited. NANS never consulted with anybody on campus. Just as on democratic way that they have already continued their process. NANS has never represented the interest of the Nigerian students.
About 9 months now that the polytechnics have been on strike, what has been contribution of NANS towards resolving this impasse?
Well, just as you said, the strike has been on for over 9 months. The government has paid little or no care.
I mean NANS now.
NANS, well, I doubt if NANS has even, since after the ASU strike has been called off, I doubt if the NANS themselves has also raised eyebrow on the polytechnic strike or the College of Education strike, because they are only interested. The last time I heard them make a statement was that if the 200 billion naira that is to be released, if it is being released, the way and manner is going to be shared, that they are also going to be part of it. And it shows that they are only responsible in the resources that come and not even interested in the strike that has been going on. So it shows that they pay little attention to the strike that is going on in the Polytechnic sector.
Even the RC are very much concerned about the ideological degeneracy of NANS because NANS is no more fighting as it should fight. It is holding back the ability of Nigerian students and Nigerian youth to fight for their right and win their right. But at the same time, we believe that if NANS will not do its duties and responsibilities, those of us who are very much concerned about the interests of Nigerian youth have to put ourselves on the front line, despite the consequences, despite the implications.
What is the situation in LASU? You have been fighting, championing cause of LASU over a few months now. What is the situation?
The struggle to reverse LASU fees continues. Currently, we have decided that we should wait for students to resume on April 1st. We are very sure that there's no sane final year student of Lagos State University who will be opposed to the struggle to reverse their fees, because the reality is that if you are out of the system now, your brothers, your siblings, your own children in the future are coming to the system. So I'm sure that they stand with us in this struggle.
So with this protest now, what is your demand from government? And
our demands are very simple. We want government to meet the demands of ASUP so that students can return back to the classrooms. What ASUP is demanding is not too much. Look at how much they are spending on the Jamboree today, the national confab, over 7 billion naira. And that's the official amount they have declared. 7 billion naira could mean 70 billion naira before the end of the 3 months confab. That amount, if it is plowed into polytechnic education, if it is utilized to try to begin to meet some of the demands of us, we are sure that polytechnic education would be on a sound footing than what it is presently. So our demands remains federal government meet ASUP demands. Students are tired of staying at home. Students want to resume, they want to go back to the classroom. And we are calling on that government to do what is needful immediately, because students are really tired. And when the youth are tired, the implication can be very disastrous.
The government should do the needful.
Oh yes.
Needful.
Yes.